Hello, everybody. Well, I promised you the last chapter that we were going to talk, what do I do if I grind my teeth or clench? Clenching is like you have these beautiful teeth and then you put them together and pretend you put tons of weight on top of this, okay? This is how you are going to fracture teeth. That's one problem. Another problem is if you're grinding, okay? You're grinding and you're doing this on and on and on and on. Just I'm touching these teeth and look what I do if I move. I try to move this, okay? I try to just move it to the front. If you can see this movement, guess what happened now? Guess what happened? These two, they start moving. So now, when I see this tooth, the tooth moves. So better yet, I show you with the famous friend that we use for brushing. So this is what is grinding my teeth means. This is, look. So there are people that wake up at night with the noise. So when you look at this, see, you're looking at this, and then you're grinding, or you're doing this, believe it or not, or you're doing this unconsciously, or you tight it so hard, like this. So why do we do that? We do that, first of all, stress. And everybody said, of course, you know, when I talk to people and I listen so much to Lewis Howe in his YouTube program, and when he interviewed Jay Shetty, with my nephew took a course with him, he touches all this topic about stressful life, and Jay, Alois, and Marta Igareda that also is doing that in Spanish for people that wanted to hear the version. We have to learn to live without stress, and we're incapable because the monks in India, they don't have to pay bills, electricity, or anything, but we have so many responsibilities that, of course, start clenching. But now the dangerous thing is the kids, the teenagers are doing that too. And you see cases where you're gonna see this, the slide where this patient, I showed it last time, in how do you protect your teeth from grinding. And this is what happened. You destroy all your teeth, but when you destroy all the teeth, then the patient comes and guess what? Do you know how much money this patient is gonna spend right now to have this type of teeth? But guess what? Spend an amazing, sickening amount of money, hundreds of thousands or less, depending on the need. And in some teeth, the destruction is so bad that this is a patient, a courtesy of Dr. Frank Bijak of a full rehab mouth, the patient very happy. Luckily, we educate the patients so much that they have to use an eye guard as mandatory. Is part for the final treatment with his patients. Why? Because this is the most important investment of your life. You have a better digestion, you're gonna sleep better, you're gonna be able to chew better. So that is the big problem with grinding. And the other situation when you are doing that and fracturing and you can lose a lot of teeth, so you're probably gonna end up telling your dentist, well, you know, now if you see here, you're gonna lose this tooth and now you need to spend a lot of money in an implant and a crown. And guess what? You pay all that money and you don't wear your eye guard, my dear. You don't floss and you don't brush. You don't use your toothpaste with fluoride. You don't use your rinses with fluoride. You don't follow every single step that I advise you to do in the previous chapter. Guess what's gonna happen? If you have the money, you can spend it, but still you have to take care of your teeth. A lot of people believe, I believed that before I went to dental school. I had a cavity fill, it doesn't matter to me, right? Because that I'm gonna be invincible. No, my dear. As a matter of fact, there's a proof, and I always said that. You have a beautiful crown, and when I see my patients, not 6 months, a year later, 2 years, 3, Then they disappear for, like the pandemic, 3 years disappear. And the patients, I have emergencies unbelievable during the pandemic when my office has to be closed. I have to see the patients because they were cracking the teeth of how much tension the public has, grinding, clenching, and breaking teeth, fracturing teeth. We have to do a couple of extractions. And this is because on the grinding, they hit, and guess what? The fracture comes and separation of the tooth happens. And sometimes it's a tooth like this, that it wasn't really bad. It didn't even have this type of caries. So, and everything that happened is because either, and if they have a wrong bite, worse, because they're gonna be doing this, or they're gonna be doing this. Like I have this very famous yoga teacher and patient that he used to sing with this. And I asked him to use a night guard. He says, no, I'm not grinding, it's just sing. I produce and I compose my songs with my teeth. So I said, you better leave it because it's gonna be the most expensive composing of your life, because they have to use a night guard. Sometimes during the day they're doing that. And what is the night guard? Here you see a device I have done, but it's for my bleaching trays. But now here, this is a beautiful night guard made for the patient. The camera can see it in more detail. So they make this mold. This was made in Dr. Bijak's office. And then this is the mold, right? So all your teeth are gonna show, and then the patient is, compliant with that. And then the famous tray, you can take a look on what I'm doing. This is not flexible like a bleaching tray. Like you see in the picture, it's very flexible. Some patients think, can I use my bleaching tray? Because insurance company here, they don't pay this night guard. And in the episode that I talk about whitening, you're gonna see how I put my whitening trays. I did it especially for the episode, and I start doing my whitening, but my teeth are very sensitive, and I explain what to do in that chapter. But anyway, this is the night guard, and look, it has to fit so perfect that there's nothing that you said, oh, I cannot, give me a nausea because this is too long. Your dentist has to reduce this. Oh, it's too soft. The dentist has to make it enough and thin that if anything happened during the day to you, that you're tense, you're grinding, you have an amazing business to close, and it's a matter of life or death, or you have a family that is sick, or a big surprise in your life, something suddenly happened. One of your family got terminal cancer. Be sure you have this during the day, because trust me, the grinding is so unconscious, and the main cause is the stress. So you want to avoid not only to destroy the teeth, you're going to avoid cracks that I mentioned on the last episode, just by doing what I told you in the last episode. Of course, the hygiene, but grinding and clenching is the biggest problem. The majority of the population has it, and you want to avoid that happen to you, to avoid fractures like this. What do I advise my patients to avoid all these fractures made by the stress? Go to your dentist, have your cleaning, floss, brush, use your night guard, and believe me, the more education you have, which I'm trying to do, my mission is to avoid that you spend money in the dental chair. So use all these preventive measures I'm giving you, and you believe me that your kids are gonna be better, and if nothing else, you're gonna avoid spending more money. How? We have to listen to the patients. We have to communicate with them, whatever you guys need, and we have to, I personally will continue educating you as much as I can, thanks to my producer, until we accomplish the mission that you said one day, Dr. Yakaman. I follow everything since your episode 1. Now guess what? I don't spend any money on my dentist. I only go one time a year and do my brushing, flossing, and my fluoride. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please put the comments in YouTube. You can send me messages on Instagram, and you can see us on TikTok too. And give us a like always. Remember, I always forget to tell you. Thank you. Bye-bye.